I didn't have the mic on, so you probably couldn't hear me. But now it's on, so I think you can hear me. But if you're on my website, I don't know if you can comment. You might have to be actually on YouTube for that. So if you switch over to YouTube, that should work. And let's see. Can you hear me? You can hear me. Monica can hear me. Everybody can hear me. Good. I decided to do this on YouTube today because I was going to do it on Facebook and Instagram like I usually do. But then I would have to walk around holding two phones, like a phone and an iPad. And that'd be really hard to do. And I would look ridiculous. I usually look ridiculous like anyway, like sitting at a table doing it. But I would definitely look silly walking around like that. So I'm having a quick Aperol Spritz before I take you around the city. And I just thought we'd do it a little differently today because I know a lot of people are stressed, worried, concerned, panicked even. And so I thought that we would do something a little pretty and see Rome at sunset. So right now I'm in Piazza Navona. I'm in this restaurant bar that opened right after the quarantine. And if you know anything about Piazza Navona, there's a lot of restaurants here and they're all terrible. They're all like touristy, microwave type food. But right after the quarantine, one of the restaurants decided to switch to a locals type place. Camilo, that's the name of it. And so they have really good food, really good drinks, and they just cater to, they cater to whoever, but the Romans would eat here, whereas the Romans would eat at one of the touristy restaurants around here. And so I'm here. Again, Aperol Spritz on this non-political Tipsy Tuesday. So I thought what we would do is walk around Piazza Navona, cut over to the Pantheon area, the Trevi Fountain, and kind of work our way back towards the Vatican. And we should be able to do all of that within the usual amount of time. It's a beautiful day. I don't know if you can really see the sunset. It's kind of washed out maybe behind me. But I'm going to try to finish the drink so we can get started. So we have a new decree coming today, I think, that will add more restrictions to what we already have. So where I am now, I'll show you the restaurants in a minute, but all the restaurants around Rome, I think all of Italy actually, they have to close at 6 p.m. to the public. So they can stay open and still serve food for takeout, delivery, but they have to close all their tables, like nobody can sit. And then we have a curfew from midnight to 5 a.m. And they're probably going to extend that to, the curfew starts at 9 p.m. and goes all night. But it's all kind of up in the air. We don't know for sure yet, unless they said something since I've been sitting here. But yeah, we don't know what it's going to be like. They keep saying it's not going to be as strict as what we had in the spring. So that's good. But I think some museums are closing. Schools, they're taking more grades out, having them work from home. And then the additional quarantine. And this is what they should have done like earlier maybe, is they're restricting travel between certain regions. So where the virus is really bad, they've shut down those regions, or they're planning to. So that'll kind of keep the virus in where people are. Right? Have to get the check before I can go. So Aperol Spritz could be the last Tipsy Tuesday from a bar. Of course, I said that last week too, until they open things back up for us. Sorry, I had hoped to be done when I started, but they're a little slow because there's like 6 people here. I'm done. So what I'll do, I'm going to pick you up because you're on a tripod. And yeah, I did chug it. I will pick it up, take the tripod off. I have you on a gimbal. Hi, Laura. Laura's here. Christina's here too, but she doesn't want to be on camera. She might say hi to you though. All right, so she's going to pay, and I'm going to take you out into Piazza Navona. I'm going to turn this around so you can see what I see. I just fell off a curb. One drink and I'm already falling off a curb. All right, so this is Piazza Navona at sunset. If you've ever been to Rome, especially like in the high season, you know that Piazza Navona is usually just packed with people. There's a lot of, like this guy here, he's a art guy. Some of the guys here that sell art are really good. They do caricatures, they do some like custom stuff. But then a lot of them, they just sell prints. And if you look closely, a lot of them sell the same prints. So it's not even their work. Hi, Laura. I've had 3 Lauras say hi. I'm saying hi to all the Lauras right now. But yeah, you'll notice there's nobody in Rome. Obviously, it's closed to the US, closed to some other countries. Europeans aren't really traveling as much right now. And now even Italians aren't doing as much traveling. And so this is what Piazza Navona looks like on a Tuesday evening. Usually, this place would be packed. You see, there's still some restaurants that are open. They're going to start shutting down within the next hour. And then there'll be nobody here. But it is a beautiful piazza. This is actually my favorite piazza in Rome, just because it's big, open, lively. See, they're doing some restoration work there. I don't know if you saw during our quarantine, there was a guy that would play guitar over Piazza Navona. So he was up, I'm going to try to point here, let's see. He was in that building up there, and he would play his guitar where that Italian flag is. What else can I show you? There's kids playing. More restaurants over here. My wife is still trying to pay. Oh, the kid that was just running fell. She's okay. Love to do a podcast about what it's like living in Rome. I did a Tipsy Tuesday about what it's like living in Rome. I'm going to strip the audio from that and make it a podcast as well, but I'll probably do more because there's a lot to living in Rome. So this beautiful church here, this is the Church of St. Agnes. Oh, I forgot I'm not wearing my mask. I have to put a mask on. Hold on just a second. I don't want to get arrested. So you have to wait while I put a mask on. Sorry. Okay, I have it on. All right, so this church here, St. Agnes. So St. Agnes, very young girl, she was martyred in this piazza. And after they killed her, they buried her in one of the catacombs outside of Rome. But this church, built in her honor, has her skull. So you can actually see the skull of St. Agnes inside this church. And then just above the church, on the right side there, they have a really nice bar. I did one of my Tipsy Tuesdays from that bar before. So I go from talking about martyrs to bars. What else can I say about Piazza Navona? This fountain here is by Bernini. Ancient Egyptian obelisk on top. And we get this piazza because I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see while I'm talking, if I can get it to turn around. So I have to wear a mask, and so I like to wear these. These are the official masks that they sell in the pharmacies here. I have a couple nicer ones, but they all muffle my voice, and you can actually hear me when I wear these, and they're a lot easier to breathe in. So Piazza Navona, this piazza here, there was this emperor's son who really liked the Greek sports, like the Olympics. And so he went to his dad And he was like, "Hey, Dad, can I build an Olympic stadium?" And his dad was like, "Oh, okay, son." And so he built this Olympic stadium here, this big, giant Olympic stadium. And he invited all of his friends to come watch some Olympic sports being played. And this was kind of at the height of gladiatorial sports. So, big, strong men fighting, killing wild beasts, and even each other. And then when his friends got here to see these Olympic sports, it was just a bunch of basically naked guys running in circles. And so that didn't go over too well with the Romans. And so what they did was they closed the arena, and they would flood this piazza. That's where we get that name, Piazza Navona. So like naval, Navona. But they would flood this in the summer months, and people could come here and cool off. And then Bernini ended up taking over the piazza. He built this fountain, the obelisk, all that. His rival built the church behind me. And now it's just a really beautiful piazza. So let's keep walking, because we're going to lose the light eventually. And I want you to see some other cool stuff. The baptismal font. Oh, St. Francis of Rome was she baptized in San Agnese? Or they just have the font. I don't know. Yes, I thought this would be a nice distraction for everyone. So, what stories do I have for you today? I don't know what stories I have right now. I'm just going to try to get to the next spot. You can see this building here is lit up in the colors of the Italian flag. Oh, IKEA update. Excellent question, Laura. So if you've been following my IKEA adventures, the owner of our apartment took a bunch of furniture to a new apartment that they were renovating. Like we asked them to do it when they said they were building an apartment. So it wasn't like they just came in and did that. I'm going to turn this around again, because it's kind of weird to talk to you when I can't see you. So they took like the couch and the chairs and the table and just all kinds of stuff, because our apartment's fully furnished. And we went to IKEA and we ordered a bunch of stuff. We went to the IKEA website. And then they said they would be there the next day. I think this was Monday. They didn't show up. Tuesday they didn't show up. Wednesday they didn't show up. I called. They couldn't figure out what was going on with the order. They said they would be there. Anyway, what I ended up doing was I reordered everything on the website. And then I canceled the previous order. I think we're probably going to end up with like duplicates of everything. And then just hours later, we had all the stuff from the new order. So we now have a couch, and we have a dining table again. I have a desk. That was really the whole point. I was trying to get a desk. We're passing this church behind me is the National Church of France, St. Louis, and San Luigi. Goodness, I can't talk. This is where they have 3 Caravaggio paintings. It looks like it's closed, or I would have taken you in there to show you. But they have 3 Caravaggio paintings. Beautiful church, but it's the National Church of France. People often ask how we have so many churches here in Rome, because we have nearly 1,000. But many countries have their own church here. So Germany, France, Spain, Portugal, even America. Goodness, my hair. They all have their own church here in Rome. Plus, we have a lot of churches that are built over saints' homes and saints' tombs. So, all right, I'm going to flip you around again, because we're coming up on something beautiful. Oh, in a minute. All right, it's weird seeing this area so quiet. I mean, I've been here for the whole quarantine, so I'm used to it being quiet. No, I'm not used to it. I'm used to seeing it quiet, but I'm still not used to it, if that makes sense. Because this little alleyway here should be packed with people, because right behind me Yes, Laura, we're almost on magic hour. Right behind me, Piazza Navona. And then right here where we're coming up is the Pantheon. There's the Pantheon. And you can see there's nobody here. You can see the restaurants out here, just waiting to have to close, forced to close. The Pantheon here, though, this is a 2,000-year-old building. It was originally a temple where people could come and worship all the gods. Oh, look, this lady's she's doing a live too. I should go talk to her live people and she could talk to mine. I have no idea who that is. So it was a place where you could worship all the gods. That's where we get the name Pantheon, Pantheos, all gods. And then the Catholics took it over. So now it's a Catholic church dedicated to all the martyrs. And so it's a Catholic church now. They have a regular Saturday or Sunday Mass. And then on Pentecost every year, that's when they have their big Mass here. They climb up to the rooftop, and inside there's actually a giant oculus, a big hole, where you can see the sky up above. And so firemen climb up to the roof and they drop red rose petals from the ceiling during the Mass, and they fall to the floor. And it's open, and there's nobody in there. I can take you in there. They're gonna have to do a temperature check, though. I don't know if I can get in. We can do a quick walkthrough. Okay, we're gonna try to do a quick walkthrough. I have to do a temperature check and see if they'll let us in while I'm holding the camera.
Your wrist close to the yellow bar, please. Sorry, the other one. Okay.
Okay. All right. I passed the temperature check. No, I didn't have to put you in the bag this time because they don't do security. They don't have like metal detectors and stuff. All right, so we're gonna go into the Pantheon. If you've ever been to Rome, I can assure you, oh my goodness, you've never seen it this empty. I don't think there's anybody in here. There's 2 people. No, there's 3 people, 4 people, 5. There's 5 people in the Pantheon right now, other than 2 security guards. So this is the Pantheon, oldest continually used building in all of Rome. Wow, this is crazy. There's nobody in here. Okay, I'm going to show you the Oculus. I'm going to zoom up to the top. Get ready for it. Bam, there you go. That is open to the sky, so there is no glass or anything covering it. So when it rains inside the Pantheon. And they actually have holes on the floor where the rainwater will go into the sewers. So I'm just going to do a quick loop in here because there are other places I want to get you to. Yeah, Laura, it's the perfect color. Julie, yearning to go again. I know. I'm yearning for people to be back. Right over here, this is the tomb of Raphael, the artist Raphael. Back here, we have the tomb of Queen Margarita. If you've ever had a Margarita pizza, you have her to thank. You can see here is the altar. So the pews are set up. They do have Sunday Masses here. There's an icon above the altar there that is attributed to St. Luke. You can't really see it because I can't zoom. And then we have the King of Unified Italy, the first King of Unified Italy up here, Victor Emmanuel. That's his tomb. Of course, I can say like a ton more about this place, but I want to get you to a few more places before everything closes. My goodness, it's crazy. Did you get a picture? Get a picture. Have Christina take a picture. Beautiful floor. So anytime it rains in Rome, like people will just run to this building because they want to see, especially when it's a downpour, they want to see the rain come through the oculus and hit the floor. And I'll show you that oculus again, how high up it is. No idea about a vaccine yet. So there's the oculus. Firemen go up there, drop rose petals down on Pentecost. They fall to the floor, and then everybody gets them and takes beautiful pictures, takes them home. All right, we're going to leave this place. You can see the papal crest right there, the papal coat of arms, rather, because this is a Catholic church. All right, we're going to head out. Look at that sky. This is a pleasant walk so far. Okay, let me see which way I want to take you. I'm going to take you this way. You probably don't know the difference either way, but I'm going to walk this way. No, I'm going to walk this way. There's 3 ways to go to our next stop. So this way you can see the side of the Pantheon. It's all lit up. It's crazy to see Rome so empty, isn't it? Kathleen, you'll get here eventually. I know. All right, so we're going to kind of walk fast. Hopefully the gimbal keeps you steady. I don't want anyone getting motion sick today, of all days. I want to show you how low the ground is over here. So you can see the Pantheon to our right. Down there is the ground level 2,000 years ago. And then up here is the current ground level. And that's because when they were building things, they would just kind of destroy whatever was there. And they would use that rubble as the foundation for what they were building. And so Rome has grown a lot over 2,000 years. So, okay. Gonna stop by this church real quick. It'll be closed, but I want to show it to you anyway. Very special church. This is Santa Maria sopra Minerva. This is the church where St. Catherine of Siena is buried. This was her parish church. So when she died, this is where they buried her. So her tomb is in there, which has most of her. It doesn't have her head, arm, finger, I think a foot. Pretty much everything else is in there, maybe. And this is an elephant with an obelisk on top. Elephant was designed by Bernini. He made this. And it is based on the elephant that belonged to the Pope. Yeah, Fra Angelico was there as well. So the Pope, Pope Leo, had an elephant. People like to give Pope gifts, and people like to outdo each other with these gifts. And so one day, the King of Portugal gave the Pope a pet elephant. He lived in the Vatican. Rome was not a good place for an elephant to live, so he died. And he's now buried in part of the Vatican museums. Funny story about that is that, I'm trying to show you this vestment shop here. Funny story about the elephant is that 100 years or so again, they were digging and they found all these big bones, and they thought they had found a dinosaur bone in the Vatican. It's just the Pope's elephant. This is Gamarelli, very famous vestment shop. They have outfitted, I think, the last 12 popes maybe. So you can see they have the Pope hat in there. And we're about to have a consistory for new cardinals, so they have all the red vestments in the window. Yesterday was All Souls Day, so you can see back there they have a black vestment, because they always put whatever is into the window. In fact, when the Pope dies, yeah, it's a beautiful black vestment. When the Pope dies, I'm going to turn you around again so you can see me. When the Pope dies, Gammarelli makes the cassocks for the conclave. So they'll make 3 sizes, small, medium, and large, because you don't know who the Pope is going to be or how big he's going to be. And they will display them in the window until the conclave begins, and then they move them into the Sistine Chapel. And the Pope puts on the white cassock whenever he's elected. So just a little bit of trivia. Benedict was a small, Francis was a large. And then there are other vestment shops that outfit the popes, but Gammarelli's has been one of them for however many years. It's either 8 or 12 popes, I don't know. We're going to pass another famous vestment shop coming up, Barbacone. That's where a lot of your priests get their stuff. I'll turn it around so you can see them. So you can see they have some bishop cassocks, vestments, hats, Knights of the Holy Sepulchre, robes, whatever they call them. More vestments over here. They also have some nun stuff. So for the sisters. All right, we're going to keep walking here. No people, no cars. We're almost like a ghost town right now. I say that and then a car drives up behind me. Okay. Still beautiful blue skies up ahead. So maybe while I'm walking to the next place, if anybody has any questions, you can ask and I can answer them, because I didn't come with a bunch of stories tonight. I just wanted it to be about what you were looking at. It does kind of look like a movie set. They were still filming something here the other day. I don't know what it was, but they needed extras, and so I knew somebody that went. And they had to wear costumes, but I'm not sure what it was. Here's a Bigfoot. Things you see when you're walking around Rome. Just an ancient foot statue. But that's not one of my highlights. This is a highlight right here. This is the best chocolate shop in Rome. Look at all this chocolate they have. Oh, the window doesn't have much chocolate. If you look in the back, all that chocolate. Such a great place. They're hurting right now too. I was there a couple weeks ago and they said that like half of their staff isn't working because they used to make so much chocolate for people and now they don't need to make any chocolate because there's nobody here. So even the chocolate people are hurting. And I'm sure I'm going to pass something that somebody loves and I'm not pointing it out, and that's okay. You can yell at me. I'm just trying to get down the street. Eva, you went to that chocolate shop? It's an excellent chocolate shop. I always get the chocolate oranges and take to my mom whenever we visit the States. There's this little icon up here. It stops, you can kind of see it. It has a little umbrella thing above its head. That is Our Lady of the Cat. So I've told that story a few times, but right down this street here, there was a kid. I don't know the name of the chocolate shop. I'm sorry. You can message me and I'll tell you. I would have to look. There was a kid on that street, this is a long time ago, crawling around the ledge of one of the buildings. We're in a parking lot right now, obviously. This is a big school. See this building? That's a high school. I came here the other day and the kids, they have to do temperature checks before they can go in. I guess it was like 2 weeks ago. And so all the kids were out here lined up waiting for their temperature checks and they were all smoking. It's kind of funny. I don't think you would see that in America. You didn't see that in America when I was going to school. All the kids smoking. Anyway, that cat story. So there was a kid crawling around a ledge of a building, one street back, and there was a cat sitting on the ledge, and the cat was like, humans don't belong out here. And so the cat started meowing really loud. Oh, here comes Techno Taxi. So the cat started meowing really loud, which got the attention of the adults, and they came out and saved the cat, or the kid. And to thank the cat for, saving the kid, they put a statue of the cat up. And so now there's an icon on that street, Our Lady of the Cat. So now we're coming up on the Corso. This is kind of like the main street in Rome that connects the old Flaminio Gate to basically to the Colosseum area. Turn you this way, you can see that is Victor Emmanuel Monument. That's where they put up our Christmas tree every year. Not the Vatican Christmas tree, the Rome Christmas tree. And so this street has a lot of nice shops. Oh, let me just take you in here for a second. There's some adoration going on. So I won't talk, but I want to show you this church. This is Santa Maria in Via Lata. And this is one of the churches where Paul lived, John the Apostle lived, somebody else, but church, and they have adoration here. They have adoration here, I think it's until 10 p.m. every day, which is pretty cool on one of Rome's busiest streets. All right, so we're going to cross the street. See the white stripes here with no light means that we have the right of way as pedestrians, so we can just walk out in front of cars, and they have to stop. See, right down this street here is the restaurant Abruzzi. If you've ever traveled with me, I'm sure I've taken you there. And let's see if this church is open. Oh, it's open. Okay, if you were, I'm going to turn this around again for a second. Oh, you wanted to stop and pray in adoration? I'm sorry, I guess to show this now. If you were watching during the Rome quarantine, the Holy Father, it was his first official time leaving the Vatican. He may have left before that, we don't know. But he went to St. Mary Major and prayed there at the icon that he loves. And then he came to this church, but he actually had the car stopped down the street. And so there's an image of the Pope walking down this deserted street, which is usually like packed full of buses. But he was coming to this church. Turn around again. This church, San Marcello. Because in this church they have a plague crucifix. So during one of the plagues, there's a crucifix in this church, and the people took it through the streets of Rome, and they took it through the streets of Rome. I'm going to show you the crucifix when we go on. And they processed it through the different neighborhoods, ending at the Vatican. So the Pope brought this crucifix to St. Peter's during his blessing over the city of Minerva. Here's a beautiful pietà. The sound has gone a bit wonky. That's not good. Let me know if it fixes. I don't know what you mean by wonky. I'm going to bring you over to show you this crucifix real quick. What do you mean by wonky? The microphone is plugged in. Here, let me know if you can hear me better now. Can you hear me better now? Fixed? Okay. I just unplugged the microphone. So much for the fancy microphone. All right, this is the Plague Crucifix. It survived a fire in this church, and it was processed through all the neighborhoods of Rome during one of the plagues. And then during our quarantine here, the Pope brought it to St. Peter's Basilica. Remember, he was standing in the rain, praying. It was a beautiful, beautiful moment. Probably the highlight of his papacy. They always play music in this church, which is really nice. Okay, so I'm going to take off this fancy mic because it's really big. If it's not working, that doesn't make any sense. Okay. And see all the side chapels. A lot of these old churches have side chapels that aren't really used anymore, so they just have art in them. There's Padre Pio, Divine Mercy, John Paul II, Mother Teresa, Our Lady Amadora of Knots, St. Michael the Archangel. Okay, let's head back out. We might be able to make it to a couple more churches before they close. Okay, I'm going to try another mic real quick, so 1 second here. So I think if I just use the camera mic, it might be, it might get too loud or too quiet. I don't know. So we're gonna walk down the Corso here, and we're gonna take a right to go to another one of Rome's famous spots. Can you hold this? All right, I'm trying to plug in a different microphone that should not mess up. Selfie takers in front of me. Okay. All right. 1 second here. Can you hold the edge of the phone? The edge of the phone. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Can you hear me okay now? Can you hear me okay now? Nobody's responding, so... Oh, sounds good. Good. Okay. All right. I just switched mics. It's not great. Laura says it's not great. Was it better without the mic? I just see a yes. I don't know what that means. Yes, it was better without the mic, or yes, it's okay now. Good on your end, Monica. Sounds fine. A little static, really? Okay. All right, I'll just take the mic off. Now there's no mic. It's just the phone. Better without. That's what happens when you try to get fancy. It doesn't work. Okay, so no mic. Ahead, you can see a red building. That's another building that has the Italian flag lit up on it, the tricolors. We're not going that way. Right across from that red building is what's going to be Rome's first real Apple store. So that should be opening, who knows when, but it was supposed to open this spring. Rome has a few Apple stores in malls outside of the city.
You'll be there on opening day.
I will be there on opening day because they hand out t-shirts. I've been to multiple first day Apple store openings, including one in Rome when I was on a pilgrimage. This is before I lived here. And I went all the way to like a mall of Rome, like an hour outside of Rome, just to get a t-shirt. I will probably be needing the 12 Pro Max, yes. We'll see. A few days to figure that out. Here's a McDonald's. So this is another street that in normal times would just be packed shoulder to shoulder with people. Because we took like a little...
That was the store, the Paris store, French store.
No, it's up here. Right? Oh, maybe you're right. We're looking for a store. What was I saying? Oh, so we took a little detour to get here because I wanted to show you a couple churches. But behind us would be the Pantheon, and then it's kind of a direct shot to our next stop, which you should hear coming up shortly. And so this is like the main touristy path in Rome from Piazza Navona to the Trevi. Here's one of the street performers. They're hurting too. Obviously no tourists, so they're not making any money. These restaurants have to close in about 15 minutes. More crackles. I don't know what to do about the audio. I had a super fancy microphone, a regular microphone, and now the iPhone. But look where we are now. This is the Trevi Fountain. Nobody here. Look at that. Here's the Trevi. It is unreal. So this was cleaned a couple years ago, so it's very clean. I'm going to back up so you can see more of it. And you can also see how there's nobody here. Trevi Fountain. Beautiful building. Oh, it's completely dark now. Well, it's still blue the other way. I love it here too. Oh yeah, it's very peaceful. Like, a lot of people avoid the Trevi Fountain because it's so crazy. But these days, super peaceful. So here's another church I want to show you real quick. Something unique here. If you look above the door, it has the papal coat of arms of Pope Benedict. So all the churches in Rome have the papal coat of arms. I should say most of them. Most of them have a papal coat of arms. And that would be Pope Francis. But this one still has Pope Benedict's up. And I'm not sure why. But the other really cool thing about this church is that they have the entrails of over 20 popes. And it's very quiet in there, so I'm not going to take you much further than here. Oh, they're praying the rosary. I love that you can see the Trevi from like the pews of the church. Anyway, this church has the entrails of over 20 popes, and that's because the popes used to live right down the street from here at the what's now the presidential palace, and they lived here in the summer. This was their summer home. One last look at the Trevi as we walk by. And so anytime a pope would die at his summer home, they would bring the body to this church, San Vincenzo, and they would prepare the body for burial by taking out all the innards, and then they would send the body over to St. Peter's to lay in state. And so this church kept all those body parts. They're not on display, but they have a list of everyone that they have. Okay, so yeah, it's very it's very weird.
I want to see them.
It's very #Catholic. Okay, now we're going to make our way over to the Spanish Steps. You hear all the birds in these trees. Yeah, we have military at all the major sites in Rome. That really started after ISIS said they were going to conquer Rome and kill the Pope. That's when you started to see the military presence everywhere. Oh, you stayed by the Trevi. That's a nice place to stay. So it's going to start getting more and more quiet because everything's closing. People are going home, waiting on the new decree. But we have time to get to the Spanish Steps and hopefully see another church. And I hope you're enjoying this, taking your mind off other things. Another busy street in Rome. This one connects the Corso to Piazza Barberini, which we'll see as we cross the street. And Piazza Barberini is the place that has, I mean, there's more historical stuff to it than this, but they have the English movie theater. So you can go there and watch movies in English. So that's where I saw Star Wars, and that may have been all I saw there. I don't know. Anyway, it's nice to have something like that in Rome. Here's the McDonald's, yet another McDonald's. Usually these tables will be full of people. Not the McDonald's tables, but the ones over here. Interesting thing about movies here in Rome is, you know, a lot of times if you're walking around Rome, you'll notice that it's kind of messy. Garbage and stuff, cigarette butts. But if you go to a movie theater, at least the ones I've been to, they're spotless. Floors aren't sticky. You're not stepping on popcorn. And they're cheap. So when we saw Star Wars opening night, it was like €6 per ticket. Reserved seats, all big, nice leather seats. I know you can get those, an experience like that in America, but I don't think you can do it for like $6, $7. So I was very impressed with that. Yeah, movie theaters in America are usually pretty nasty. That's been my experience anyway. See, a lot of shops here are closed. A lot of these shops, you know, they cater to tourists because Rome has so many tourists. And they're really hurting, and hotels too. Yes, we're going to try to get into Sant'Andrea della Fratte now. Should still be open. It's not even 6 yet. Perfect. So I want to take you into this church really quickly. This is Sant'Andrea della Fratte, St. Andrew of the Woods, because where we are now was kind of in the woods of Rome back in the day. But this is where a Marian apparition happened. There was a guy who was a non-believing Jew. He came to Rome on what was basically his bachelor party, and they're praying the rosary in there as well. Here, I'll take you in real quick so you can see the image. But he was in this church, and Mary appeared to him, and it was at that moment that he was converted. So you'll notice that all the pews face the side altar because that's where the apparition happened.
Signore, pietà. Cristo, ascoltaci. Cristo, esaudisci. O Dio Padre Celeste, o Dio Figlio Redentore del mondo, o Dio Spirito Santo, Santa Trinità unico Dio, Santa Maria, Santa Madre di Dio, Santa Vergine delle Vergini, Madre di Cristo,
Can't go out that way.
Madre della Chiesa, Madre della Divina Grazia,
Okay, anyway, that was beautiful. So this building right in front of me, that is where the architect Bernini lived. So he was not a starving artist. That was his palazzo. And so this church that we were just in, they have two Bernini sculptures that were originally on the Bridge of the Angels. That's that fancy bridge in front of Castle Sant'Angelo near the Vatican. So the two statues he actually did himself are in this church, and they put copies on the bridge. All right, so now we're gonna make our way down this street to the Spanish Steps. There's a big van coming. And then we'll be at about the 1 hour mark, I think. I still can't get over how crazy it is to be walking in Rome with no people. You don't want this to be over, Laura? Okay. We'll just keep going all night. I'll just walk all night long. All right, so we're coming up on the Spanish Steps. But before we get there, I'm going to point out yet another McDonald's, because it's funny. Right over here, you'll see there's a McDonald's over there. That was the biggest in the world until they built a bigger one in China for a long time. And it was the first McDonald's in Italy. And when they opened here, the very first person in line, shouldn't be a surprise, an American seminarian who missed McDonald's. And when they opened, there was this long line. Everybody ran in and sat down at the tables waiting to be seated because they didn't really have a concept of fast food at the time. Of course they do now. But it's a beautiful McDonald's. They have a fountain, there's marble, really good coffee.
That was our first toast lockdown snack.
That's true. All right, and here, a pillar with Our Lady on top. So every year, I think it's on Immaculate Conception, the Holy Father comes here, and there's a fire truck that parks down here and takes flowers up to the very top. You'll see that she's holding the flowers in her right hand there. The Pope doesn't go up there, the fire truck guy does. And they stay there all year till the next Immaculate Conception. All right, so now we are approaching the Spanish Steps. And again, completely empty. I don't know about what you were saying about the bathrooms at McDonald's. Yeah, soap, blow dryer, water, all in one. They're very advanced here. All right, so now we're at the Spanish Steps. With, what's that, one person on, two people? Just a couple people on the Spanish Steps at 6 o'clock in the evening. Insane. So these are called the Spanish Steps because we just passed the Spanish Embassy, and these are steps near that Spanish Embassy. But they lead up to that church up there. Beautiful church. I'm not going up there right now. This fountain was done by, I think, Bernini's father. It's called the Boat Fountain. I mean, that's the unofficial name.
And Bernini worked on it.
Yeah, Bernini helped. So, another lovely fountain for you to see. One thing I loved is right after the quarantine ended for us, all the Romans, because you couldn't travel between regions or other countries or anything, so you only had Romans in Rome, and they were all out with their kids enjoying these sights, probably for the first time, because Because I know a lot of Romans would avoid things like this. But it was beautiful to see. And I think that's kind of still going on. All right, now we're going to walk down the street, Via dei Condotti, also known as the Street of Tears. Because when one spouse gets loose shopping on this street, the other one ends up in tears. We have Prada, we have Gucci, Hermes, all the fancy shops. I am not allowed to shop on this street because I'm the one that would be doing it. This cafe here, one of the oldest in Rome, from 1760, Cafe Greco. And if you've ever been here, they have tons of tables inside. But after the quarantine, they were allowed to put tables on this street, something that you've probably never would have seen before. So that's not a bad place to have a coffee with that view. But taking their tables down because 6 o'clock. I'm not sure if... Do you know if shops have to close at 6? I don't know. Lots of nice restaurants down there. Closing. I don't think the shops have to close. They're still open. We'll know more today. I should do Second Cup Saturday from there. Maybe I'll do that. Who knows if Second Cup Saturday will even happen outside my apartment this week. So if you follow this street all the way down, you'll end up at my apartment, pretty much. I might take a detour though. See if I can squeeze in something else nice for you. This is a great street for window shopping at Christmas. This is the Hermes shop. But they go all out on the window displays. It's kind of like walking down Fifth Avenue in New York. All these shops. They probably spend more on their window displays than we spend on our apartment in a year. But it's pretty. Yes, we live right above Catholic Costco. They're our neighbors. Oh, this is pretty. I've never noticed this shop. They have these little balconies and windows. What a lovely shop. All right. We're going to take a left here. I'm going to try to get you into one more church. This is a lovely walk tonight. I actually thought there'd be more people out walking, just in case it's our last chance. But I don't think that they're going to shut down Rome right now. None of the rumors are saying that. The areas are talking about making really tight restrictions are up by Turin, Milan, and then down in Calabria. Yeah, all these shops are still open. I guess shops don't have to close at 6. I wasn't sure about that. I don't do a lot of shopping.
Grocery stores are still open.
Oh yeah, grocery stores are open. I guess it's just food shops. What they really wanted to avoid during this time is to have people congregating. So right down there is the Church of San Lorenzo. We're not going there right now. That's where they have the grill where St. Lawrence was roasted alive. I thought I'd show you a cool relic over here. I don't have much to narrate on the shopping streets. So you can just enjoy the sights and sounds of Rome for a minute. That noise is cafe locking up their chairs and bringing them in. Okay, let's see if this door is open. The light is on. Yes, it's open. So this door right here leads into the side of a church. And you can see it looks like just nothing from the outside, right? Like, it doesn't look like a church, doesn't look like a fancy door. But in here, they have the head of St. John the Baptist. Now there's a guy in here praying at the Pietà. So I'm just gonna show you the head and we'll pop right back out. So that reliquary there has the head. You can kind of see it's really hard. Where's my finger there? It's in that part right there. The head of St. John the Baptist. It's just kind of crazy that that's the entrance. And then, beautiful Pietà. And there was a mass going on there as well. I just didn't want to bother that guy that was praying. Okay, so we were in this area earlier. Oh, I didn't know Kansas had part of St. John the Baptist. It's crazy to me that we have any of St. John the Baptist, really. So, this is exciting. You know how exciting this is. I'm gonna lose like most of you when I tell you this. These windows are to that Apple store I was talking about a few minutes ago, half an hour ago. Since they've been building this Apple store, it's been completely covered in black paneling, so nobody can get in, nobody can see through the windows, because you know they're very secretive. But the Apple store is going to wrap around this whole building, this whole bottom floor. So this is the first time I've seen the windows not blacked out.
You excited?
I'm very excited. I actually peeked into a door one day. Oh, I kind of see in here. I'm looking into this. Oh, it's just a bunch of construction stuff. You can see in there. I get excited about these things. All right.
And the other thing coming into this.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, right over there. I don't know if you can see it from here, but that's Ikea. Yeah, there's some Christmas lights. It's the Christmas Ikea, not Christmas Ikea, kitchen Ikea. All they have are like the kitchen things at Ikea. So it's very tiny Ikea. There's another church right there. There's this church right here where we had St. John the Baptist's head. Looks much better on the front. Then there's a third church over there. And then on this block, we're gonna get our first Starbucks. Rome does not have Starbucks yet. We will soon. Oh, here's an even better view into the Apple store. Oh, that's like the employee entrance. That's terrible. That's not exciting at all. This is where I've seen before. Look in there. That's the Apple store. That's exciting. All right. Well, just keep walking, I guess. Head home. So this church over here, oh, that's not the one. Never mind. It's a church another block away. I'll take you there some other time. Coming up on the Zara. Good shop for clothes right there. Be right next door to the Apple Store. Bus coming through. All right. Taxi stand. Anytime you're in Rome, you should always get a taxi from a taxi stand. You don't try to call one on the street. Otherwise, you can get an illegal taxi and get ripped off. But even if you go to a taxi stand, you might get ripped off anyway. No, I don't know what time the announcement will be made about the further restrictions. Sometime this evening. Now we're back over to where that Italian flag is on the building. Back to the Corso, that main street that cuts through Rome. Hello, New York. Okay, so we're gonna cross the street. You can see these cars will stop as we walk out into a busy street because we have the right of way. Okay, here's that Italian flag I was mentioning. Lit up on the building. They started doing that on a few buildings during the main outbreak. So I guess we're pretty much done. I don't know where else to take you. So I'm heading back home. I guess I'll just bring you with me for a few minutes until you get bored. Anybody have any other questions as we're walking? Yes, that's Trajan's column. No, this is this isn't Trajan's, this is the other one. Trajan's is in Trajan's Market.
Not sure.
I don't know. Yes, some Romans are teleworking. So they're trying to get them to work from home as well. Some construction here. Yeah, Marcus Aurelius, that's the one. Here's a cigar store if anybody needs cigars. We have cigars and pipes. I don't need either. I don't even know why I pointed it out. Just seemed like the thing to do at the time. Oh, Matt needs cigars. Whenever you guys get back here, I'll take him there. So now we're almost back to the Pantheon. This is not it, but this is another government building and an Egyptian obelisk there. Yeah, always. Bicycle. Now I'm pointing out bicycles. This is becoming very boring for you, I'm sure. It's pretty, but I'm pointing out a bicycle. This is a lovely church here. Santa Maria in Aquia, I think. But I'm not going to take you in right now. In just a second, you'll see another view of the Pantheon. Oh, thank you, Frank. Not boring because it's a walk through Rome. I'm letting Rome do the entertaining tonight. This is a lovely piazza. Let me just show you this. I love this piazza. The buildings, the church, the lamps. It's just a great place. Oh, there's some construction going on. Otherwise, you'll be able to see the Pantheon right down that street. We're just going to keep heading this way. So in a couple more minutes, we'll be near St. Peter's, near the river where you can see St. Peter's. I'm hoping to get to this street or to the river. Again, all these streets would normally be full of people. Right here, that's the Pantheon, right down there. Okay. Actually, I think I'll just stop it here because we still have a ways to go. And I don't really know where a good stopping point is. But maybe right up here.
Hello? Okay. You like something? Marijuana?
Thanks for the walk. Thanks for joining me on the walk. It was fun. Now it's just to get home and see what the government says we have to do. Oh, I forgot there was election today too. See, it took my mind off it as well. I'm glad you enjoyed it. We are pretty much back where we started. Piazza Navona is just in front of us. So, I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to say goodbye because I'm going to stop this so that we can get home and do whatever it is we have to do. Talk to you soon.